In tonight's You Decide 2024 coverage, I am joined live, unedited in his own words, by Democratic 1st Congressional District nominee Dennis Baker on the campaign trail now. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Rick. Thank you for the invitation.
No problem. I think a lot of people have seen some of your yard signs around town, but they've never actually seen your face.
Probably so.
Yeah, let me ask, who are you?
Yeah, so let me give you a little bit about my background. I'm the Democratic nominee for Congress here in the 1st District, born and raised in Oklahoma. Grew up in Milwaukee, but spent a lot of time living in Creek County, out in an area called Pickett Prairie. So went to the University of Tulsa, went to law school there, was a police officer, Tulsa police officer, and then I joined the FBI and was there for 23 years.
What was it about this election where you're like, I can't sit on the couch for this one, I can't just be a voter?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I've had a lot of time during the campaign, people said, well, what was the point where you decided that you wanted to run? And I said, that's a good question, because I can tell you the exact day, January 6, 2021. So I watched what happened at the Capitol, I watched what unfolded, and I saw the results of political extremism and said, you know, that's not my values. I don't think it's America's values. I want to get involved in this somehow. I'm not sure how now, but I want to be somehow at the heart of it, at the center of it. And the last time I felt that way was after 9/11. I was an FBI agent in North Carolina. I watched the planes hit the tower, and in my heart I felt like I had to be involved in this somehow. I had to be at the center of it. So never thought that it would work out that I would be the Democratic nominee, but here I am. And what I'd like to do is just take a minute to tell where I stand on kind of the political field for people, because I'm an Oklahoma Democrat, and we're defining that for people in a way that it hasn't been defined before.
For sure.
So think of a football field, and think on that football field is all the politicians, all the candidates, and they're all standing on the field. And right there in the center of that field is Dennis Baker. But you would look at me and you'd say, Dennis Baker, I would probably take just a step to the left. And so if you look to my right, from where I'm standing, look way down the field, back towards the end zone, around the 15-yard line, you'll see my opponent, Kevin Hern. That's where he's standing. So that's in the political landscape. I'm in the center, I'm running from the center, it's where the work gets done, and it's probably, with Kevin Hern at the extreme, it's hard to get work done. It's hard to pass extreme laws when your political ideas are in the extreme, and it's probably the reason why he hasn't passed a single bill in Congress except to name a post office.
And to be fair, we have offered an interview with Congressman Hern as well, but let's name your top 3 issues. What do you say your big 3 are going into this race?
Well, I'm gonna start with something only because it's very important, but I'm gonna start with it at the very beginning because it's a topic on the news almost every day, and it's border security. So my goal in the 119th Congress will be to pass the bipartisan border security bill. It's a bill that was put together by Democrats and Republicans in the Senate, but it hasn't been brought to a vote in the House by the 118th Congress, which is, as you know, being run by Republicans. So that bill is a good first step. I'm not saying it's like the perfect bill, but it's a great first step. You know, more Border Patrol officers, more immigration judges, and another thing, fentanyl detection machines. You know, that bill would have provided over 100 fentanyl protection machines at points of entry where most of this fentanyl is coming into the country. And those machines could be saving people's lives. And I know that because when I was a special agent in charge in St. Louis, the fentanyl epidemic was at an all-time high. And there were kids found in dumpsters from fentanyl overdoses that we had to deal with. I've seen it firsthand. It's something that is something I want to address.
So that's
the first issue.
Oh, for sure. Yes, first issue.
I gotcha. So let me talk about this issue because it helps frame. I don't want to cut questions off. So the second issue that I want to talk about is raise the wage. So I'm all for raising the minimum wage. I know we have an initiative that's unfolding now. It's probably not going to reach the ballot in November. But the good thing about having a Democratic Congress sending an Oklahoma Democrat to Congress is that there could be a national minimum wage that would apply to Oklahoma. So I'm all for that. It's about this campaign. It's, as I said, I'm in the middle. It's about building back the middle class. And a stagnating minimum wage is part of that diminishing middle class. You know, in this country, it used to be in most neighborhoods in cities like Tulsa, 60% of those neighborhoods were middle class back in the 1970s, and now today it's down to like 50%. So there is a withdrawing of the middle class. And the last issue I'm going to talk about, there's like a dozen more, but I'll mention this because I want to be more than just about. I want to be more about economic opportunity, and at the center of that is high-speed rail between Tulsa and Oklahoma City. Our campaign is an advocate of that. There's infrastructure money available for that. It's on the table, and I want Tulsa back. I want this district back to thinking big, and that's an initiative that I'm 100% behind, and we should do it. We should do it, and there's no reason not to. And you had a candidate for mayor, Karen Keith, last time, and she was talking about the levee project, and she was talking about working with, you know, Senator Lankford and, you know, Kevin Hern on that to get $167 million for that levee system. And I thought that was good. You're working with them, but in reality, both of those men voted no to the legislation that brought that $167 million to Oklahoma. I didn't know if Karen knew that, but I wanted to clarify that money was voted in by Democrats outside Oklahoma. Wouldn't it be great to have an Oklahoman in Congress in Washington voting to bring that money to Oklahoma?
So let me ask you this. I've got maybe 20 seconds left. You're running from the center. How does Kamala Harris being your party's nominee impact you? How do you feel about that?
I think it's great. I love having a prosecutor as running for president because I'm an investigator, and I think this will be great on the ticket. Love to see my name under hers there on the ballot come November.
Dennis Baker, thank you so much for joining us
thank
today.
you so much.
Thank you. Best of luck on the campaign trail.